I proudly introduce you Ms. Sushma Nair, a fashion designer and actor from Kannada and Tamil film industry. Now, I would just like to tell you something about her. I think in a very short span of time, she has managed to start and establish her own label and also become profoundly known as an actor in Southern cinema. Starting with, so she started her career as costume designer and styling, and then I think character roles in cinema. She has Emerging Designer of the Year award in YEE Fashion Week Dubai in 2019. And she's an entrepreneur running her own label by the name Something by Sushma Nair since 2018. And also parallelly working as actor in Southern cinema. So I think in a very small span, she has made her mark. And without much ado, I think I would share the screen with the young enterprising lady with us. So Sushma, over to you. You can tell about yourself and start.
Thank you so much, Shweta ma'am. And thank you to Vogue Institute for giving me this opportunity. It's my immense pleasure to be sharing my journey as an entrepreneur and also on motivating others on how to build their own brand. Because every student who come to college with a dream, I know most of them, like 90% of students, will come with this. Thought of they have to do something before they leave college. So for me, basically, just build a brand, make my own name before I leave the college. So that's how beautiful thing of starting my own label started. I will not be very professional. I'm trying to be very friendly and answer all the questions, doubts. So whatever I'm going to share today is my personal experience and what I did to build my own brand. So yeah, welcome you all. Let's get started. So the first thing is, for building your own brand, you always need to think that you're working for yourself and your people. So you need to be your own boss. Only then, like, you need to work for yourself. Then you have that attitude.
Vijay sir, yeah, you're audible. Yeah. Sushma, you have to be increase your volume actually.
Volume?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Actually, my screen is not moving. Hold on, I have a problem. I'm so sorry.
No problem, Sushma.
My cursor is only not moving.
No. Any problem in running the PPT?
No. I got back.
Sushma, also keep your video on. We would like to see you also parallelly.
Yeah. Sure. Can you see me?
No.
You can't see me. Okay. Actually, there's a problem. One second, let me sort it out. I don't know. My internet is a bit slow. That's why maybe.
No problem.
So I think Sushma can start speaking without her. Meantime, we can, maybe if the internet becomes fast, we can see her.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. But the problem is my computer got hanged or something.
It's fine. Yeah, it's visible now.
It's visible now?
Yeah.
Start.
The PPT is visible, so you can start.
Okay. I'm so sorry, but still
perfectly fine. It's okay. You can start speaking. Yeah.
You can't move the slides?
No, actually, the cursor itself is not moving for some reason. There's some issue with my
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, we have almost 200 participants with us.
Okay. So yeah. So
Yeah,
please visit my website, which is somethingbysushma.com, And very recently, which is this year 2020 Jan, only launched this website, so that I get proper business profile of the brand. And I'll give a small introduction about my brand. What we basically do is, we make customized clothes for everybody, helping common people identifying their style. That is what we basically do. And filling the so when a customer come to us saying, I want something like this, I want something like that. So we focus on giving what they need. Like 90% is their visualization, and the 10% is our innovation. So that's why this name something came up. And I always wanted my brand name to start with S, which is my starting my name starts with S. So I wanted my brand to have that, and that's why I came up with a different name, unique brand name called something. Am I audible?
Yes,
Please
yes.
go ahead. Go ahead. It's audible.
Yes,
I thought okay.
No, we just muted because like that should not interfere.
Yeah,
with
we should not disturb your.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Okay. So in as you can see, my brand itself. Everybody asked me, "What is the name of your brand?" I say, when I introduce myself to others, more than actor, I say I'm an entrepreneur. I say I'm a fashion designer. I have my own brand. I have my own label. So when I name like that, they ask me, "What is the name of your brand?" I say like the name of my brand is something. So what's something? No, the name of the brand itself is something. That's how I explain them. And then why something? What is there in something? Why is it? I mean, so when I decided the name, that my brand name will be, it should be easy to remember. Like for example, Steve Jobs, Apple. It's so easy to remember, and every day we use that word, right? So I wanted the name of my brand to be used commonly. Like it should be easy to remember, and let it be logo or let it be the name, and everything should be easily coming into our mind. So that's how I thought my customer will remember me through my brand. I don't want my customer to remember me first. I want them to remember my brand. I want them to recommend my brand to others and not me. So that's how I came up with this unique name and logo as well. So you can see that hanger, which already signifies it's a clothing brand. So when somebody sees my brand logo, they already get to know that it's something, something related to clothing itself. And then also you can see a difference. Me is in a box. So when you abbreviate it, you get, so me thing. So me thing, basically what my idea towards the brand was, uh, when customer, you know, they want to see themselves. I feel every person has their own style, taste, and personality. So they should see themselves in whatever they wear. Whatever they wear should reflect their personality. So that's why that me is highlighted and it's in the box. That's about the brand logo and about my brand. What and when it comes to filling up the bridges between imagination and production, like I said, uh, it's 90% customers visualization about the design, and just 10% of our innovation, because we are experts. We know if a customer likes certain pattern, we'll blindly not tell them, okay, you can go for this, go for that. No, we don't do that. Instead, we recommend them uh, uh, what is good for them, because there are different body types and different color, which also different color tone of the people. So that's why it is important to give our expert advice to them. Before I start this session on how, what, when, where, I want to show you this important quote. Um, so when you start a business, first of all, don't think of money. So when you start, when you are very young, when you are having the rage and that fire in you and hungry to do something good, you should always focus on growing than thinking about the money. So that's why I put a quote here. So I thought let it start with a good quote. Never start a business just to make money. Start a business to make a difference. So whatever your product is, I know clothing, shelter, food, and all are basic requirements. But why a common person should come to a designer? Because to set a personality. So your product, it could be anything. So in today's session, it's not about building only a fashion label or only a clothing label. It's about anything that you want to do. It could be shoes, bags, cosmetics, anything. The product should speak more than you, and the product should be helpful to the people. It should make a difference. Then money will follow. That is secondary. So you need to focus on making a difference in the society. You need to fill the gap between which we as Indians are lacking in our economy. We are not easily available in few things, like in few sectors, even in fashion industry. That's why Milan and other countries, though we have a lot of history compared to them, and a lot of great heritage compared to them, still we are lacking back because we are not filling that gap. So as I feel in next maybe 10-20 years, there'll be a lot of entrepreneurs who will be filling all these, and even India will become an and it'll make its own mark in fashion industry for sure, at least for its heritage and history, which is very famous all over the world. Okay, so next, you all might be thinking how to start a brand. It's very simple. Okay, so you need to plan. So basically, when you have a lot of things in your mind, make sure you write it down. You first
Your
make
voice is breaking.
a plan. The plan is basically uh, hello,
Yeah, we can
hello.
hear it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, okay. And also, can you see me?
Yeah. We can see it.
Okay. Okay. So on how to start, this is like you might have a lot of ideas, you might have n number of things going in your mind, but you don't know how to start, like from where to start, what to do, whom to contact. So what you do, what personally I did is in my college, when I was in the final year, not final year, maybe in the second year, I used to spend most of my time in library, finding books on how to start your own business, how to start your own label. I did a lot of homework based on that. What is more important? How to how to reach people. That is what I was looking for, and I spent a lot of time there. And then I started making points. I started making a plan. What I should do, who are my, what is, first of all, what is your style? You need to recognize your style because everybody have different tastes. As designers, some might like shimmery products, some might like very elegant, classy products, and some might be very colorful, popping up. Like I can give you many designers example like Sabyasachi. His work is too much. Like too many things are there, but still it is beautiful. And a few other designers, their work is all very simple. So you need to know your audience. If your designs will be liked by a certain set of audience. So in my mind, for my brand, I wanted to reach common people. Say for example, middle class and upper middle class. So we take inspiration from celebrities, whatever they wear, and then we develop products which is easily available to all the common people. So that's what was in my mind. I should make affordable products which can be not mass production but customized. Customized was my whole plan. And so I made a list of what kind of customers would come to me, what is my idea towards this, and I started making plans like that. Once you make plans, please write it down. Okay, so you need, like I said, you need to identify your style, and then know your customer, and then service or filling the gap. Service in the sense, I mean to say, in our brand something, the service is like, so far I am the only person in the top management who is working completely, let it be from communicating with the customer, or let it be even with, communicating with my workers, suppliers and everything. I myself take care of everything. So I am into it, so I know what exactly is happening, and what kind of service I'm providing in this. So you need to fill the gap. You need, like for example, I don't have an office. Okay, so we don't have an office, we don't have a boutique yet. uh, so I do all these things at home. So if, for example, I take an appointment with my customer and then meet somewhere, and then take a sketchbook as well, and then sketch in front of them, maybe 2 3 sketches, and discuss about what they want as much as possible. So what I'm doing there, I am providing them service. um, Other designers, I don't know, but as far as I know, like, they have their own office, they have their own bundle of collections, they give them options, and the customer easily picks and then maybe modify it and then take it home. But I don't do that. I sit with my customer, we discuss in and out, from color, from inside fabric, to the outer, all the embroidery stuff, everything we discuss. And then I myself go get the products from the supplier and then give it to my tailor. And that's how it's all working like that right now. So what I'm trying to say is, you should be having a very good relationship with your customer, and also your employees, which is the tailor or the weaver, or the guys who help you in doing all the even smallest work, uh, small embroidery work, everything. You need to fulfill them. So here I'm providing service to my customers, filling the gap, helping them get what they want. So all these things, why am I saying is, these things I had in my mind before I started my brand. So I kept thinking, am I eligible to do this? Am I having all the resources to start this? So once I made my plan, I know what I wanted to do. I know what are my customers. Then I went to the next step. I started researching about um everything, how to get it done. And for me, for researching, there were so many sources. Like these days, anything, you're just in Google, one type away from anything that you want. Um, yes, I'm sorry. Okay, so you're just one type away from in Google. You can search whatever you want. So where to start? So you should first research, like proper research. And research not just about what you want to do, also about what people want. What is something which in our market is lacking. uh, so you should make products which people want, not what you want. Sometimes it's like that, there's a difference with what you want to do and what people want, because you want people to come to you. A best example I can give you is this Zomato, Swiggy. A lot of circumstances, hotels and all that were not getting as much as business until Swiggy, Zomato started, right? So Swiggy was like that. You know, they gave that service which filled the gap between all these hotel community. So now they're able to do a successful business, even if there is no people in the hotel sitting and having food. They at least have takeaways. So that is what I'm trying to say. So you need to research on um, on all the characteristics from your customer, from your employees, from your logo. Everything matters. Everything, every single thing. And why am I talking more about logo is because your logo, your brand name is representing you. So you need to give more importance on how your product, like how your brand looks like. So yeah, moving on next. So yeah, this is like a small example I can say. So once I decided what I want to do, what is my brand name going to be, I know it was a spontaneous decision for me to take this name, something as my brand name, because what happened. Um, First thing, I told myself that my brand should have my name, like my first letter in the brand. So that's how the thought process came, and then it should be easy to remember, like I told previously. So then, for some reason, I don't know, I finalized something as my brand name. A lot of people, like my relatives in the family who are already running a business, they were like, "Why do you have something? It's a too long name. Business and all should, like, brand should have small names like Nike, very, very small names, very 4 letter, 5 letters, so it's easy to remember." Then I was like, no, that's their style. Okay, let me do what I want to do. And then I ignored whatever they said. And this drawing, which you can see on the side, this is the first drawing that you know, I wrote my first letter S on a paper, and then I thought, okay, let me try something with this, and then I pulled a line and then made it look like a hanger. So I had this picture somehow in my gallery, so I thought I can put that. So that's how this logo came. And after this logo only, I got an idea that I can, uh, how to give meaning to my brand. And that's how, as you can see, the name and all came from. And design, I'll show you in the video. There's a video here. So this I got it done before like launching my brand. I hope you can see. So like you could see that, first the brand name is like something, and then that me goes in a box. So a lot of people just read it something, but some people, they read as so many things. So basically, that so many thing is really important. Like I've explained, um, you know, it's a unique idea to reach the customers, need of the customers. That's why they have that need. And I've already explained, so I don't want to get deep into the name of the brand. So let's move on to the next. Yeah. So next, after while you do research, you need to do research on your uh, logo. What type of logo? It should be very easy for people to recognize. Okay, and I would suggest to have just one or two color in your logo. Like for me in my brand, I have something in gold and the background black, because I wanted it to be very classy, and gold obviously is very class, and black, white, these two block colors are always the class colors. So when you designing a logo, always take a help of an expert. They will be able to help you build in more and give you more ideas and make it look more innovative. So have just 2 or 3 colors. Don't make it look very complicated, and your logo should always have relation with the name of your brand. Okay. So next is even tagline. The tagline also matters. Like for example, Nike, the tagline, just do it, right? So and the logo is the tick mark. So it's very simple and easy for people to understand. Just and they're into sports, just do it means like, uh, just be sportive, spontaneous, and just do the work. So that's how it should be very easy for people to understand the role of your brand. uh, and it'll be even more easy for people to understand what kind of service you provide as well, so they can find you easily. So having unique brand name, having a unique brand logo is really important to stand out in today's competitive world. uh, Uniqueness is what everybody's looking for. So yeah, keep this in your mind always. So try to be as unique and as innovative and as crazy as possible. And market value of the products in this context, I mean to say is like my brand provides clothes or any services for common people. But a lot of products are not like that. Like for example, I can give you Amway, Tupperware. All these people are premium products, so they don't do sales in the store. They do sales through salesmen, or they have agents, right? So so there are different categories, so you need to even decide what category you will go to. Will you go for something like that, or are you going to be easily available for people, or online? Anything, it could be the sector of things that you want to do. You need to decide in planning session and research session. Like these two are the time where you are deciding what your brand is. You need to already see the future of the brand to finalize all these things. That's what I meant to say, market value of the products. Few more examples for the logo. So as you can see, Apple, McDonald's, and all these things are very simple, easy to understand, easy to recognize. So your brand logo name speaks more about your products. That is the face of your product. So you need to be very careful while deciding the unique brand name or logo. So yeah, I've also given a quotation that hence give meaningful name and add value and life to the brand. Okay, for example, you can think you yourself are a brand, and you are selling yourself, like how we are all identified by our names, like Sushma. So yeah, you get my face in your mind. You kind of get an image of me in your mind, right? So when somebody talks about your brand or says a brand name, you should already get the product and all those things in your mind. So yeah, that's it. Let's move on to the next slide. When to start, it's very important. So we finished how to start, where to start, now when to start. Basically, I would say when to start when you're ready to take all the risk and make mistakes. Make mistakes, yes, because you have to learn from the mistakes, right? Nothing can come easily in your life, and nothing can be learned without making mistakes. So make mistakes when you're ready to take all the risk. So in my case, what happened? I spent almost 1 year. Like in 6 months, I spent for what do you say, in deciding the name, doing homework. So 6 months of mine went in researching the whole product and everything. Remaining 6 months was on. So I made a budget, okay, and I was in third year college that time, and I so badly wanted to start now. Like I was like, now I'm ready, but I have no money in my hand, and I was still studying. And my parents obviously, when I told them that I want to start a brand, they were ready to believe. What are you going to do? Anyways, you are going to work after this. So I was like, no, I want to start, but I need some money. What to do? Then I had extracurricular activities in my hand. Like in the sense, I used to be a good dancer, so I started taking dance class for kids, and then I started making earrings and selling it on Amazon. Even in college, I started selling my earrings, and at the same time, I kept telling people that I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to do something. Um, so this is all this is for that, because there is no relation with studying in fashion institute and teaching dance, making earrings doesn't make sense actually. But then all this I was doing to just save some money, and somehow I could collected some money, and then I gave it to my friend who was a graphic designer, and he made the logo and the name and everything, like the visual, like visually I could see how my brand looks. That was my first investment. Maybe it's just few thousands that I saved, but it made a lot of difference for me. From there, I didn't stop. From there, next thing that I did was, I got a job by then when I was studying in college, which is in third year of college. 2017 November, I got a job in Kannada film industry as costume designer. So then in my first payment, I I started already making products. So which means I already had everything to take up risk and to to work for myself. Basically, that is what I'm trying to say. And this quote also, I have added this because this quote inspired me a lot at that time. That I would much rather work 16 hours a day for myself than 8 hours a day working for someone else. So even before, like, okay, even before starting the brand, in college itself, when I was studying, I used to go for part-time jobs, or you can say internships, because I was not paid for the internships that I did. So in my second semester, I was college ambassador for Coops. So I had to do online promotions. So I don't know. I wanted to work in different sectors to know if I'm fit in that. So when I worked in that, I was really not happy with that. So I was like, okay, I'm okay with this 3 months internship, and then I'm never doing this, which is that online thing. Okay, I never did that again. And in the third semester, I joined Gap in Orion Mall, and I worked there as sales and VM, like intern. Okay, uh, to see if I can do that, if that is what I want to do. And I realized no, that is also not what I want to do. And then fourth semester, obviously, the college itself has a project. We have to do internship in industry. So I did. I did even 1 month internship there. Still, I felt no, this is not what I want to do. This is not me. That's when I was very clear. See, this 9 to 5 job doesn't suit me. I should work on my own working hours. Like for example, 12 o'clock also, if I feel midnight, I feel like I have some ideas. I have to work on it. I should work on it. Like I want to do that kind of a job. I don't want to work for somebody else. And I'm ready to do anything, whatever it takes. I'm ready to do. That's how this whole mindset of mine also started. That's why I'm saying risk taking is very important. There are a lot of mistakes also that I committed in between, and I've learned in this 2 years, which I'll be sharing in the future slides. Okay, once when to start, everything you need to take risk, all this is done. Now you have everything in your hand. You have logo, you have business name, you have money, you have everything. Now you need to just start. So you need to do legal registration of your business, which is really important. Why is it important? Because in future, if this is a proof that you are running a business, and there's a lot of things associated with financial sectors, like a lot of amount is put in your bank account, all of a sudden anybody will get doubt. So if you have a proof that you are running a business like this, then you will not have any kind of financial issues. So you need to do a legal registration either through advocate or through registration agencies. It's your choice. So what I did first was I applied for Udyog Aadhaar under Indian government certification, and I've put a link also. You guys can take a screenshot if you want to. So you need to first register your company. So the company is different, and your brand name and logo is completely different. Okay. So under your company, for example, I have a company name called XYZ. So I'm registering my this Udyog Aadhaar in my company name XYZ with a number of employees. I'm doing a small sector. All this. Once you go to this link, you'll be able to see all the things and clarify all the doubts by yourself. You'll get to know what in detail, and under that only the brand name comes. So this company is different and your brand is different. So don't get confused. Don't put your brand name in the company name. Don't do that. Actually, I did a mistake. Okay, I thought this company is asking for my business name, brand name. Then I put something by Sushma Nair. Then my advocate told something by Sushma Nair is your brand name. So it is like a branch of your company. You should not put that in your Udyog Aadhaar. So you should put a company name. So company in the sense on enterprises, private limited, partnership, whatever it is. mine is a single entity proprietorship. So I registered under that in the name of my company, and then under that I have something as a brand. So next, what you need to do is you need to register for trademark, and you need to get that trademark for the logo and for the business, because it's really important to get a TM mark for your logo and your brand name, because see, everybody is like there. We have evolution so much. There's no name only left. See, my brand name is something by Sushma Nair. If I would have just kept something, no, somebody else would have filed a case against my brand. So registering it properly, like something by Sushma Nair, was really important. And you need to be very precise, very particular, and because all these are related to government. So once you do any small flaws also, it takes very long time to rectify it. So this is how a trademark journal looks like, and you need to fill up the forms. All these things should happen through an advocate or a registration agency, because they know better and they know the clauses and all that better. So there are different clauses. There's so many clauses actually. So for your business, they will you have to pay a certain amount of fees, and you can get your trademark registered, and it will take 1 year, at least 1 year. My brand name is very generic, something, right? So it is very generic, and that's why it was very hard for me to get it approved very fast. So mine is still taking a lot of time, but I got trademark done. Registration, like once I get a certificate, okay, once I get a certificate, I can use that R. So you need to wait until you get a that certificate in your hand. But otherwise, TM you can use after 3 months of application. So TM and R really important. So one more thing I'll tell you, why at some point this was, I felt like, oh my God, thank God I got this done. What happened? I was dealing with a customer, and it was a very huge order, and our company had to incur a very big loss because of their personal constraints. And unfortunately, since we were always calling them to pay the bill, they put a complaint on us, saying this girl is been calling from long time. And what I did very smartly, I had all the bills, I had all the things that we spent for the making of the clothes, and the clothes were already with them, so we had no proof except the registration of the company, uh, and everything, like even the bills and everything. So since we had all those things in hand, including the amount that they had given us in the beginning as advance, all those things, they complained police saying that we didn't even give any order to this girl, because they already had a product, right? So they kind of I don't know, this is not business. Like what they did was not ethics at all. We treat our customers so well, and in return they do like this. It's really bad. But we learned from it. So that day I realized all these registrations, all these things is actually money fetching thing, but it's really important. It will save your business. If that day I didn't have all these things, maybe they could have filed a complaint on me, like they had, and it could have been a bigger thing. And my parents in beginning only, like, they're supportive, but seeing all these things, no parent will let you do it. So you need to be very careful, very smart, um, in dealing with these kinds, and be prepared for anything. So very, very important to legally register your brand, and whatever it is, take legal steps when these kind of things happen. uh, Please use these trademarks, this Udyog Aadhar, all your business proofs that you have. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. So the fourth important thing is commencement of your business. Now you have registered your business, and Udyog Aadhar is very easy. It just takes 5 minutes, and it is free of cost. You don't need to pay anybody. You can just do it by yourself. So okay, after that, commencement of business. Commencement of your business or brand. Now you need to start. How you will start? Obviously, you will start with making the products, right? So again, I added a quote because I felt this makes sense for this point. It's not about ideas; it's about making ideas happen. So all this while you had everything in your mind, now you're fully prepared to sell your product, right? So when you're fully ready, just don't keep it in your mind. Start doing. If you start today, only then you'll be able to achieve what you have always thought of doing. And then always remember that start small. Like you can see, we all grow from small, and then only we become, recognized. I can give a ton of examples, but the best example is Amazon, Apple, all these brands. They all started in a garage or, you know, uh, in their house in a small room. They all started small, but the kind of expansion that they have made over the years are extremely, like, I it could have been impossible for them to think at that time that they would grow this much. So that's what I'm trying to say. Always start small. Don't invest too much. Like for example, initially you're spending 5,000 to 10,000 rupees for as your basic investment. It's okay. It's okay. Start small. Try to sell to your relatives, to your known people. Then they will talk about you. They will talk about your brand, and then it will slowly expand. So always start small. And next thing, after you start, you make it physically available for people. Example, exhibitions, like anywhere, like flea markets and all is open for everybody. So you can put a stall for yourself. Actually, our college work gives a opportunity, Kalavishkar, for the students to put their own stalls. Like when I was studying, we had that option, but I'm not sure now. But yeah, there is this Kalavishkar thing. So it gives opportunity to every student to put a stall on what they are good at, whatever they have made. So that way it makes the public easily available. So you need to make your products easily available to people, maybe even through online platforms. There's a lot of options even in Amazon to sell your products. I've seen a lot of designs, like by designers, like small designers, selling their products on Amazon. So you can also do that. Um, uh, Physically attract your customers through your products, make them buy it. And one more example I can give is Tupperware and Amway products. They all go to door services. They provide door to door services. So that way, what the customer is seeing, the customer is seeing the beauty of the product. The customer is able to see the design. So in some cases, they do some demo or something. Then they attract, like physically, they do, like, sampling, display, all that, and then the customer buys it. Once the customer like it, then the customer will be loyal. So it's really important to attract the customer. So, and this should be throughout your business, not like in beginning you do to attract and then later, okay, fine. Now it doesn't matter. No, not like that. You should always uh, uh, be better than what you were before, even as a product and even as a company. And then the last one and the most important one is promotion and marketing through social media platforms. So here, in today's, I mean, like today's world, everybody has a smartphone. So every company is making one or the other product. And through Instagram, YouTube, Google, so many platforms are there. We are always on our phones. Even TikTok has ads these days. So when you open TikTok, the first thing comes is an ad. So you should do a promotion of your business, some attractive videos, some attractive pictures, so that the customer actually goes, into that website, see the product. If they like it, they will take it. Best example I can give you is recently I was just browsing on Instagram story, and suddenly I found this fan, um, advertisement, like, the woman is cooking, and she's having this on her neck. I was like, okay, even I need this. What they did advertisement. They promoted their product. Uh, through various platforms, and people like me will, if they find it helpful, they will buy it. So we need to make it available. So your product has to reach everybody. For that, you need to do proper advertisements on social media platform and make the full, like, complete use of the platforms that we have. Okay, next, the last. So there are 5 important things to do to start your own business, to start your own label. And now we have come to the 5th one. So I'll just go through uh, from the first point. First, what we did planning. We did research on what products we're doing, what logo we are going to do. I mean, what is the logo, brand name, and everything. Third, okay, I'm sorry. Third, we did legal registration. Fourth, we started our business. And fifth, this is the final, and this is going to be throughout your business, because now you've already started. Now you have to take it forward by being very consistent. Consistent is the key to success. So you start with that fire and hunger. If you are not having that fire and hunger towards your brand throughout the end, then there is no point in starting your brand. So always be innovative. Try to read more books. Try to get yourself updated. Every day, one of the other innovations are happening. Like now, because of this COVID pandemic thing, everybody is coming up with this PPE, like protectional clothes. So I feel in future we're going to have a fashionable protectional clothes, or maybe fashionable mask. So we need to attract the customers or attract towards our brand by doing something innovative and updating our ideas. Like I've said, inspiration plus action is success. So yeah, be consistent. Next, you should have passion to grow. The passion which you have, if you have passion towards your brand or your company, it's like loving yourself. Okay, it's like that self obsession that you are having. It's the same when it comes to the brand as well. So when you have that passion to grow, I'm sure you will look for more opportunities, more expansion. So recently I came across the story of the owner of Oyo. So how he started, like, he was not really educated. I think he didn't even complete his education. Didn't go to any university, but all that he had was passion to grow, and he had lots of ideas. And the business that he started, Oyo, now he has 43,000 hotels all over the world, and uh, he's youngest billionaire in the whole world. What his story is like, he helped hotels uh, by getting more business, in the sense like decorating the like giving more ambience to the place, taking good pictures of that, and making an app, uploading in that, and he gave work, like jobs, to thousands of people. So he had that passion to grow, like, expand so much. So you always need to have passion to grow, and that passion should be very consistent in you. It should never fall apart. So yeah, let's move on to the next slide. And invest in the brand. Yes, investment of your time and investment of the money that you earn from your brand, like putting again reverse to your brand, is really important. At initial stages, you need to do more of survey, research. You need to continue this process until or unless somebody else is working for your, like, and you're just chilling. So that should be the hard work that you put in. And in, like, investment in the business, I mean to say, whatever your business is earning, like profit, you put reverse to the business again. There are 99% of chances for your brand to grow. So if you're happy with whatever you have, I don't think that, like, I think there'll be like an end of the thing, the business. But if you want to grow more, in order to grow more, whatever you earn, whatever you have, you put again back to business. I think it will give you more than what you had before. So always invest your time and invest in your business. This was my first investment. So as you all know, for clothing this you need labels, right? So for me, this particular thing was like my dream. After I got it designed from the graphic designer, I was extremely happy, and I found everybody, like, from label printers, amount, negotiating amount, everything I did on my own. Nobody in my family is in a business, or nobody is from business background. So nobody helped me in doing anything. I found things one by myself, always calling on Just Dial, asking some other friends, parents who are in business, and find a lot of research. It took a lot of time, and also, like, since you're a beginner, sometimes there are people who will even make a fool of you, or they'll make you fraud by telling you an extra amount. But then I did a lot of research, and then finally got to know that uh, you know this product can be bought in this much amount. This was my first investment, my label. Yeah, that's why I have displayed it. The last thing and the most important thing of being consistent in business is keep your employees and customers happy. If your employees are satisfied, they'll provide a great service to the customers. So you can always not be with the customer, right? So your employees are facing your customers sometimes. So, or when you keep them happy, they'll make the best product. For me, my employees are my tailors. So if I pay them well, I treat them well, I give them whatever it is required, and keep them happy, definitely they'll do a great job, provide great quality, and I'll be able to provide great service to my customers. Next, yeah, don't find customers for your products, find products for your customers. Yeah, like I said, we should be the bridge between customers and the main suppliers or manufacturers. So we should our product should be filling that gap. So that's how loud our product should speak. Yeah. So again, if your service is great, everything is good, then you get a loyal customer, which is a reward to the company. What more you want, right? When a customer is coming back again and again, recommending his friends, her friends, uh, to a lot more people, your brand is getting name by itself. What more do you want, right? So yeah, service, support, feedback, quality, satisfaction, then you get a reward. Do you know that so whenever in Google, whenever you type something, you get a lot of things, right? At least you get an accurate answer to whatever you type in Google, like how, what, and all that. So in Google, for the employees there, when they find out something, like they type something, if the employee there is doing a research on based on that, Google pays them a reward. So that's how they are. So what happens there? The employees become competitive. They want more rewards. They want more name. They want more success. So when you treat your customers, sorry, when you treat your employees well, as they are assets of your company, they start giving the best service, and customers are always king. So you need to give them the best service. So in entrepreneurship, or when you start a business, when you do a business, customer is only the king, and your service will speak a lot more. Be your own brand and sell yourself in order to sell your products. And I would like to you know this is what I felt completely. uh, Learning, I started my brand in 2018 January, and it's been 2 years now, almost going to be 2.5 years. What I've learned is, though I'm an actor and all that, whenever I go out, I make sure I let the other person know that I'm a designer as well. So I speak more about my brand. I speak more about the products and the services. So I am the face of something. That's how I feel. That's what I'm trying to say. Be your own brand. Sell yourself. If the other person get attracted by you, obviously, and eventually they'll get attracted by your products as well. So yeah. And after starting my business in Jan 2018, when I was in college, I couldn't do the college fashion show, but it was my immense pleasure to do my fashion show, my live first fashion show with V Fashion Week in Dubai. So these are my collections. They are basically the topic was Hawaii, and I did a mix of all natural colors and neon. So the basic concept was to glowing in the dark concept as well in my garments. So yeah, these are the pictures. I'll also show you the uh, I'll also show you the video right now of the show. I hope you can see. So this was my first garment. My collection was based on what you say, red carpet. So it was a mixture of wearable and non-wearable. I know that a lot of people will not wear something neonish and all that on a normal day. So yeah, my theme was red carpet theme. That's why I chose to do something like this, different. Everything, each detail in this is handmade. All this embroidery that you can see on the garment, all that is glowing, all that has those small sparkling neon in it is all hand sewn. And the orange lines that you can see, which is in the shape of paradise flower, that was hand painted. Every detail was done by hand. It took almost 3 to 4 months to complete 6 garments, and I had to showcase around 7 garments in this fashion show. The seventh one was the showstopper garment, and yeah, it took a lot of time and work in it. So I took a lot of elements which is in Hawaii. As you know, the theme was Hawaii, like volcano, rainfall, waterfall, and tropical leaves. Whatever the theme is in Hawaii, so I collaborated all those designs and incorporated in my costumes. So this oranges that you can see, it symbolizes a volcano. So as you can see that how the lava will burn, no? That's how I felt it will look like. So yeah. So in a collection, as you know, there should be a common design in all the costumes, right? For my design, common thing was this print. This print also was hand drawn, like freehand drawing, and then I converted into CAD and then did printing of it. So this is my showstopper garment. There's a surprise element in this. As you can see that neon popping out a little bit. And this was an ombre gown. So blue light, because I wanted to display the speciality of the costume first, glowing in the UV light. It looks like this in the video, but in real, it will actually flash on your face. The colors will flash on your face. this was entirely like machine embroidery. This particular garment. Now you all will see next how it looks in the light, like the natural light. This is how it looks in dark and UV light, which is blue light. Next you will see how it look in natural light. So this was after starting my business. This was my first fashion show in Dubai. And so yeah, this is how it looks in the natural light. Very colorful. I used almost all the colors in the color palette. Every garment looks different. Every garment, you know, has different colors. No colors are repeated anywhere. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. Back to the slide. So I won in the same fashion show, Emerging Designer of the Year. And among 15 designers from all around the world, I was the only Indian and only youngest designer. I was 21 then. And yeah, I even got opportunity to meet the head of fashion council in Dubai. And yeah, that was really a great experience. And again in 2019 December, for a noble cause, I did styling, like styling for autism kids in Dubai Autism Center. They actually ran a fashion show for the kids, and I did complete styling. And like actually I was informed just 1 week ago. Somehow arranged costumes, variety of costumes, especially for the girls, and successfully did the fashion show. And you know how autism kids are, and it was really a great experience. And again it was for a noble cause. And yeah, and then again in 2019 December, right after my fashion show in Dubai, like the autism kids one, I got an award in Chennai from SAIWA, South Indian Women um, Awards. I got entrepreneur award. And yeah, so we are coming to the end of the slide. All that I wanted to say is, do something today that you will thank in the future, like that you'll thank yourself in the future. So yes, coming to an end of this session, you can ask me any questions and any doubts. Sweta ma'am?
So Sushma, it was wonderful seeing the story. It was flowing like a river, like from the attach till how you reached. And actually, the last attach actually stands very true for you. Do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Exactly.
Shweta, I will speak for a few minutes.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Sushma, it was a wonderful classroom teaching.
Thank you,
On
sir.
the
Thank you so
topic how to build a label. You will be the inspiration to all the budding designers who are all in the audience on the other side.
Thank you, sir.
Specifically, we from the Vogue Institute, we are all proud of you for your achievement. It is a great success story. I think after hearing your webinar, many budding designers who are now graduating from many fashion institutes will start their own labels.
Sure.
Thank you very much. Be in touch with us. Our main motto was to bring you here to encourage the budding designers to do well in the fashion field. It's going to be one of the best fields for the talented students. And also you explained how you have used the institute facilities to build your career by spending a lot of time in the library. That if somebody take your word, they will also start attending, going to the library, start using the library facilities.
Exactly.
What I had seen, we have, every institute has got facilities, but unfortunately our youngsters are lacking in going to library to find the resource
Yeah.
and knowledge. Thank you, Sushma. Over to Shweta.
Yeah, exactly. That was really correct. I think if you could speak 2 lines for our students, like what all they should use from the facilities of college
Okay.
today.
Okay. Actually, I'll tell what I did because everybody has different opinion, right? Everybody has different way to grow. So, like I said, I used like I used to be in library more than classes. If I feel, I mean, it is in a way wrong, but there are few subjects which I felt I can learn by myself. Uh, so those subjects I used to skip and go to the library, study there, um, and I used to even go to CAD lab and uh, especially learn about not Illustrator, that Photoshop and
Corel Draw.
Coral Draw.
Corel Draw, yeah, Corel Draw. Photoshop and Corel Draw. I used to do a lot of back then. Anuja ma'am was our teacher, and Rashmi ma'am also was there. So they both give different assignments, and I used to see for this asymmetric symmetric design. If I could build something more different than the examples given, so I used to spend most of the time in CAD lab and library. So library, when you go to library, I know there's ton of books there, but you if you're focused, you know where you will find what you want. For me, at the first time when I went to library, I know what book I wanted to take, what I wanted to do. That's how I stick to that business sector only, like that business side of the library. I was always there, and I was always referring. And there was even I was even taking notes, and I was asking teachers doubts, uh, not regarding business, not anything regarding business, but anything external. Like that time we had a topic called entrepreneurship and all that. So I paid a lot of attention to that. We were given even assignments based on that. So I assume that I'm already an entrepreneur, and I did so each and every assignment. So basically, live what theoretical you are learning. When it comes to practically learning in college, because that experience you won't get anywhere else. Because for that, if you're doing anything practically in the college, the reward is teachers appreciation, and also you will get to know how much you can do. But in real life, when you do the same thing practically, the reward is good results, okay, or uh, or it can be a bad name. So in college, nobody is going to judge you. Teacher is only going to teach you. So make use of that practical assignments that that you get in college. Let it be first year, second year, third year, whatever it is. Whatever you learn from college, not just one thing. Like college and the subjects are just for the foundation. They're just like the ground floor or the basic brick. And what we need to do is we need to build it depends on you, build a penthouse or bungalow or villa or apartment, depends on you. So you need to use that basic knowledge to improve from there. A lot of people who have studied fashion designing in my batch only, they are not doing fashion designing. Like they have studied fashion designing, but they're not actually, they're in different sectors. But if when you're studying only, you are very focused, this is where I want to work, this is what I want to do, you're very focused. I'm sure like I am, like how I am here, I was very focused, and I always prayed for this one thing, if I do this, definitely I'll give this in return to the world. So no matter what, your hard work speaks. So work in silence
Right.
and make
Everything
the
trickles
effort
down
what
to
you
the
want.
thing that you're focused. If you're
Yeah.
focused, I think sooner or later you achieve. Sushma, let's take up some questions from our attendees.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is by Ritika. So, were you always clear that you want to become a fashion designer?
Yes, very clear. I'll tell you. In my eighth grade, so in childhood, I used to like dress up, like I used to like wear matching clothes, like matching shoes, matching clips. So when somebody asked me, what do you want to become, I said, I want to become I want to become like a model. I want to wear nice clothes, wear makeup, and go out. I was so silly and stupid then. But then, in my high school, I met somebody who told me about fashion designing. There is a course like this called
Mm.
fashion designing. If you really want to achieve that, you need to do a course like this. Then you can expertise in that later on. So that's how
Yeah.
I came across. There's a course like this. Then I started doing research for college, which college. So by my dad was not like, we from very middle class family. So my parents, especially my dad, was like, oh, you're gonna become tailor after this. And I was like, no. And I was very average in studies as well. So he told me, okay, take distinction, take 85% plus in your 10th, then you can take um, commerce instead of science. So then I took distinction, then I got to do commerce because I didn't want to take up science and then do fashion designing. No point, right? And then in 12th, along with my public exam, I was preparing even for NIFT entrance exam. So I was very focused then. Then, unfortunately, I didn't get NIFT, but a very life-changing thing happened. If I wouldn't have got Vogue, I wouldn't have been here. That's another thing. So I'm at that moment, I didn't know how to express what I used to feel. But now I'm really thankful that I came to Vogue because I was in the same city. I could expand more contacts, and
Okay.
I could even take college resources to build this contact.
Yes.
And yeah, then yeah, now today I'm here. It's because of all these things happened.
It's really nice to hear. Which one of the celebrity you would dream to style?
um, Ranveer Singh and Deepika Padukone.
Oh wow. Celebrity couple, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So what would be your post-COVID strategies to flourish your fashion house once again at a smoother pace?
Okay. So it's really hard time for any business person, local business especially, and even for luxury brands. Nobody is even having money. I think at least for next 2 years, nobody will spend
Exactly.
too much money on spending for like no clothes, buying expensive clothes or expensive things. What I'm trying today is mm, what do you say? Like I'm trying to make uh, things more affordable. Actually, when it comes to customization, customization is itself expensive thing because uh, each and everything we buy according to the taste of the customer. Now, in order to continue with the business, that doesn't mean you can stop the business, right? You need to go on. So I feel I'll make the products more affordable. I will not concentrate on profit sector, though it's been 2.5 years now. Uh, I think at this time, at least, if the product will will be more available for people, will be more affordable for people, then I think when things will slowly get to normal, we'll again be back to stability. That's what I feel.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so how do you manage your acting and fashion career both together parallelly?
It's really hard. They say when you either you should be here or you should be there.
Exactly.
On the both the sides. And I've always been like this. Even
Okay.
when I was in college, I was not just studying, I was even working. I don't know, my mind is set in such a way that I want to do multiple things. And if I do only one thing, it gets too boring for me. So acting, I am actually, to be very honest, I came to this acting industry just to spread the word of my brand. I'm
Okay.
very passionate about my brand. I Something is like me, like something is uh, like representing me. For me, it's like that. So whenever I go, wherever I go, I even if it is an interview, I talk more about my brand. I talk more about my work. I talk more about the achievements and rather than acting. But it seems I'm good in that also. But I mean, that's what people say.
Mm.
So somehow going on, it everything depends on time management. I have learned time management after doing both the jobs parallelly. So time management is really important. So yeah, it comes off naturally. Anybody can do it. If I can do, anybody can do.
You seem to be multi-talented.
Thank you.
Okay, so which all different segments of apparels do you have in your brand house? Like, or what all apparels do you have under your name?
Okay. So we basically do customized, as I told you. We have kids, women's, men's, and the brand makes clothes for anybody, any size. A lot of people come ask me, do you make for plus size? No, see, it's basically customization. You give your measurements, we make clothes for you. So it's under everything. Right now, we're just focusing on clothing. Maybe in the future, we'll come you know, maybe expanding it more.
Okay, so printing that you did on your garments for fashion show, was that digital printing?
Yeah, it was a digital printing first, and on top of digital printing, there was hand embroidery.
Okay, okay, that's nice. Okay, so how do you feel when you come to know that you're inspiring millions? How is that feeling?
Um, I mean, I feel actually I'm just a small piece of mustard or something in front of so many successful people. I feel I should only grow more. Like there is more things to do, but if my story is inspiring somebody, motivating them to do more, and in in different parts they're feeling focused, then I feel I achieved something. Like there is a reason for my story. Somebody is able to learn something from my story, so that's happy, and I feel happy.
And how do you keep yourself motivated throughout your journey?
That's hard. That's quite hard. Being motivated because I'm doing a lot of things all together. It's just not acting or handling a brand. Also, me and my friend run workshops, and I am partnering with an NGO as well. I have already partnered, so there are a lot of things going on around.
Oh,
But
wow.
when I'm very tired,
Hmm.
mind really doesn't work. I go to sleep. And I before going to sleep, this is what I do. I see myself in a better place, and then I go to sleep. So it kind of relieves me. So I feel that is the kind of motivation I do to myself.
That's
Nothing else.
nice. Okay, so what's your take on work with a firm, learn first, and then start your own firm? So does this work?
Yeah, yeah. I would say that. Why? Because before starting something, like I told you, in every after every semester, live first semester, but second, third, fourth. Uh, by fourth semester, I worked in three different areas of fashion, which is retail, which is online, and industry. So I learned how these industry work. Only then I realized that this all these things are no use for me, and I can be my own boss.
Mhm.
So it's really important to learn first. First you learn, then you create.
Uh, According to you, what is the best quality that a designer should have?
Hunger to learn more. Actually, you should never settle with okay, I'm like number one designer, so
Yeah.
yeah, forever I'll be number one. No, that attitude shouldn't come in. Not only designer,
Mhm.
anybody who is creating something,
Mhm.
being very creative, innovative, who's trying to put good work,
Mhm.
shouldn't have that I'm going to settle here. No, they should have hunger to grow more. Only then, see, we never knew before 10 years or before 20 years, we never knew we were going to have smartphone like this.
Mhm.
We never knew that classrooms are going to be through webinar. So it's really important uh, to have that hunger to do more and grow more.
Exactly.
That's what I think.
And are you ever completely exhausted and there are no ideas in your mind? Is it like ever? As a
Yeah, it happens. It happens. Sometimes it happens every day when you sit to design something. No, you don't get designs only. Like it's totally blank. Then
exactly.
when you're doing some work, like you're traveling somewhere, you're speaking to someone, you're watching some TV series, suddenly you see something and you get some design. Like for example, you go to a fabric store and you see so many clothes and so many designs just flow in your mind. I'm going to make this dress with the satin, all that ideas you get in your mind. So when you immediately get ideas, then you need to make a point of it. At least write and keep somewhere. satin ball gown or something like that. That later will help you, or take a picture of it so that you see that picture and get more inspired, do some research, and then you try to create, then obviously you will get it. But every day, some or the other time, it happens. There are
Yeah.
no idea sometimes.
Okay, a lot of our students want to know, how did you get the chance to showcase your work in Dubai Fashion Week?
Okay, so my acting, was a plus bonus in this. As I was good in acting, in the sense I built more contacts through that. So a lot of people got to know me through my performance, and through Ambika, like actress Ambika,
Mhm.
who is in my serial Nayagi. So she liked my design, and she just referred my name to somebody. And that somebody, to that person, I introduced myself, and that somebody, okay, I have more contacts in fashion, all that. So it was like line, and it was like branches of networks that I just told about myself, sent them my portfolio, continuously following up with them. Then they told me there is a show like this. Do you want to participate? To participate, you need to do a lot of things. So it was not at all easy for me to do that show, because it was my first show. Nobody believed me if I'll be able to do, and nobody believed in my design. What, neon colors will glow? What are you saying? Like, are you mad or what? That is what they asked me. Like, how will a garment glow? That is what they asked me. Then I said, give me an opportunity. No, like, just give me an opportunity to show it, show the sample. Then I got a chance to show the sample. I got approval of the sample. I had to find a sponsor. That was a very big task. I had to find sponsor, follow up with the sponsor for almost 3 months every single day, and I put entirely my own money, from traveling, from everything. The sponsor just did the few things which was required for the registrations, but
Mhm.
I completely took over the expenses. Like, I actually first time, it was my first time to any abroad country, and I went alone by myself and in my own expense. So I had 6 months time. 6 months time, whatever I earned, I put everything to my brand. I even, there are times, I should not say this, but yeah, you might feel I'm kidding or something. But there are times I didn't have my lunch, or also when I had leave. I used to live in a PG in Chennai. So I used to skip my lunch even to save some amount and all that. So yeah, it was really hard. It was not as easy as people think. Simply through contacts, I went to Dubai. No, it,
Wow, I think we should salute your determination. Amazing.
thank you. Bhavya.
Okay, so how do you think of promoting your brand now in these Corona times?
See, actually, a lot of brand is already making masks and all. At this time, I feel there is, we should give space for people to breathe. I can't force any customer or anybody to buy my product.
Exactly.
uh, as of now, I won't do much of branding, but like, as time passes, maybe once or at least film industry or movie industry resumes its work,
Mhm.
then obviously all the shows also will start, right? That time I'll start branding. Right now, I don't want to. It's already, we are in a bad phase. I don't want to mess up more, so I won't do it right now.
Okay. So what is your idea and future of 3D printing?
3D printing, yeah, I actually want to try that. um, Maybe create a garment out of it, maybe more useful products, you never know. But I really want to try. I never tried that before, but uh, maybe in future we might have clothes like reuse of, not like use and throw kind of clothes,
Mm.
3D printing.
Okay. And how do you feel the future of kids garments?
Kids garments, yeah, actually there are a lot of brands, especially Gap. Since I worked in Gap, Gap has so many varieties of kids wear.
Yeah.
I know, I'm sure a lot of other brands are also, making kids wear. And but what I say is, everybody is not able to afford kids garments, because kids keep growing every single day. What I feel is, from my personal point of view, it should be made affordable or something. And if there'll be any future for kids wear, then simple things will work out more. than making it more complicated.
Yes.
And it should be liked by the kids. That's it.
That's great, Sushma. I think not just students, I think even we adults have learned so much from you. Your determination, constant working hard, is amazing, amazing. I express like I'm falling short of words to express my appreciation for your inspiring journey. I think many students and budding entrepreneurs would have learned a lot from you. And thank you for sparing your time and connecting with us. I think Vogue Institute is really proud of you. You visited
Thank
us
you so much.
after COVID so that we meet face to face and our students
Sure,
are
sure.
able to talk to you. And thanks to all the participants. We hope you enjoyed the session today. I think all these, Sushma had been really inspiring for her journey and everybody. I think I'm able to take up all the questions also. So thank you, Sushma. Thank you so much for coming
Thank you,
and
ma'am.
for
Thank you so much.
sparing time.
Thank you to all the participants for sparing their time and coming to hear what I did.
Shweta,
I think
Yes,
you all
sir.
know what to do now.
can you announce the next program,
Yes.
second and fourth?
Yes, sir. Sushma.
Yeah.
So
I'll-
thank you attendees for everything, and for future, please keep watching our further sessions. So we have upcoming sessions by Miss Maria Chumak on, so basically we have planned 3 sessions with her. The 2 that are upcoming are on 2nd and 4th of June. Topics would be futuristic innovation in apparel and design and creative approach to new fashion. So very soon we will have all the posters and links and dates. Please join in. Please save the time on 2nd June and 4th June. So
She's a France designer.
yeah, so she's an acclaimed fashion illustrator and designer from France and also a visiting faculty at Vogue. So I hope you'll have much more to learn again. The saga continues. Please join in on 2nd and 4th. You'll have the thing soon. And Sushma, try join us again in future sessions.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
To see you soon.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, attendees. Yeah, hope to see you all soon. Thank you.
Yeah.